All right, I'm going to be looking at a little scan tool that I just got in. This is the ThinkScan 662 by ThinkCar. Getting ready to open this up and show you what all this thing can do, and it's at a very good price. I'm going to tell you that. I looked on Amazon before coming out here to shoot this video, and they have a coupon. You can get this right now for a little under $200. So let's take a look at it and see just how much power you get for that money. I have already opened this, just so you know. Now it comes with this owner's manual right here. This is in multiple languages. The very first one would be English. Then you have all these different languages. Now the first thing I notice is it does not come with any kind of case, soft case or anything like that. So, you know, if you end up getting this, you would have to pick you up a little soft case or something from Walmart, $5, $10, a little zip-up case. Wouldn't have to be very big either. Now this is a 6.5-inch screen. Great feeling rubber on here. This is not just going to slip out of your hand, and very portable. Now this is not Bluetooth. This actually has the direct cable hook up here, and I personally love that. I bought one not long ago. I bought a ThinkScan 689 with a cable just for that reason. Plus I have a few other scan tools that are Bluetooth. The only thing I've noticed with Bluetooth is sometimes if you're up under a hood, you get more latency because it's the distance from the dongle, the VCI, actually communicating with this. But with a cable, you never have that issue. Plus, this will charge the tool as it's plugged into the car. Now, they do have extensions. I have a 10-foot extension in the house that will adapt to this, and it will definitely get you up under a hood. 10 foot plus that will get you anywhere up under the hood. So I personally like that, but it's definitely got some good portability to it. And it comes with a charging cable, and that's basically it. Let's go ahead and get this box out of the way. I got this booting up. Let me go ahead and get this plastic off of here. Now, I'm pretty sure that's got a protection screen on it. Most of the time you have to kind of go to one corner, take your fingernail to find it. There it is right here. Yep, all right. That'll just give you better response with your fingers. All right. I tell you what, this is set up a lot. Just like actually the 689 I got. Let's see if I got a brightness control on here. Settings. Universal. Yeah, right here. Okay, that ought to look better. Let me take a look at that and see how that's coming through the camera. All right, I got the Wi-Fi hooked up, went ahead and did an update. I just want to show you a few things. One thing is all the different languages this comes in. You got settings, go to universal, you go to language, you got English, German, Spanish, French, Italian, Japanese, Portuguese, Russian, Polish, Turkish, Dutch, Hungarian, Chinese, traditional Chinese, and Korean. Then there's more than that. Greek, Slovakia, Slovak, Romania, Arabic, Croatian, on and on and on. Maybe you can see some of them. And Vietnamese. All right, a lot of compatibility there. So now let's take a look at all the different vehicles. I mean, there's a bunch of them. So just about all of these are ready to be updated. So I'll do that after the video. Just want to show you all the different automobiles that this has. And then you got your diagnose. This will do the auto search, AutoVIN. It'll do OBD2 or OBD. Oh, upgrade here. Any of your updates would be here. Maintenance functions would be here, and I like to go to this last one. Okay, it's telling you how to drag these around and sort them the way you like it, and I'm just going to not worry about doing that just yet. So anyway, here we all go. These are in alphabetical order. I think there's 12 of them altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 12. You got 12 maintenance functions on this particular unit. Now the 689 that I own does have more, but for this tool and the price, that's pretty good. You got a more button here. Let's see here. Remote assistance, gadget, yeah, it lets you access Chrome, which that way you can pull up anything on the internet if you need to go to Google or whatever. Coverage list, fault code library, user manual, and we're back to diagnose. There's your settings there. So let me just tell you real quick what all this tool has inside of it. All right, now the system that's covered on this scan tool is the engine, transmission, ABS, airbag, has bi-directional active testing, allows you to command components like fans, injectors, mirrors to test operation directly. It has maintenance reset functions. I just showed you 12. It's including an airbag reset, ABS bleeding, brake reset, DPF, region injector coating, oil reset, SAS gearbox reset, TPMS, BMS, and throttle adaptation. This is based on an Android 8 OS, Wi-Fi enabled, and here's the beauty right here, free lifetime updates. You'll never have to pay for any updates. Supports AutoVIN, CAN FD, FCA, SGW protocols. The hardware, 6.2 high definition touchscreen. I said 6.5, close, 6.2. It's got a quad core 1.8 gigahertz, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage, 4150 milliamps hour battery, durable, rugged design. I'm reading this off of ChatGPT. What I done is I went into ChatGPT and I wanted to compare this with a similar model, which would be the launch CRP 129X. It's given all the highlights of each one of these scan tools. They're both in the same price range, same size, everything. But here's the bottom line. If your focus is more advanced diagnostics, component testing, and extended vehicle support, the ThinkScan 662 is the more capable tool. If you're learning or leaning towards a straightforward system, checks and resets in the familiar brand, the launch CRP 129X remains a good pick. But it's telling you right here, this is ChatGPT, open source AI. It's telling you that the ThinkScan is the better option of the two. So that speaks volumes to me. So I think I showed you pretty much everything as far as what the tool can do. It seems to be very capable for the price range. And I'm going to take it and put it on my car here, and we're just going to look through a few systems and see what it can do. I'm an air conditioner technician, so I always check these things looking at AC work, and today probably be no different. I want to see just what all I can do with this tool on a air conditioner. I'll be using this on my 2019 Toyota Corolla. Out here in the car, I'm gonna go ahead and boot this up by pressing this button in. You get to see my reflection. Whoop-dee-doo. All right, let's let this boot up some. All All right, one thing I want to do is go ahead and hit this button. By the way, you can scroll up here. You can turn this off or you can turn this on, and there it is. Hit this. That starts a screen recording. That way you won't see all this reflection. It'll just look better. Let's hit enter. This is the auto search. It will auto search the van and get into the car. This is the car I'm in. So as I mentioned, I am an AC technician, been doing AC work for many years. And that's primarily what I want to kind of look at first. First thing I want to do, I want to see how many modules this scan tool can find on my car. I've got other scan tools and I know what they can find. This being a lower or mid-level, not even a mid-level, an entry-level scan tool, I want to see what it can find. Okay, it found 6 systems. Let's go into the engine and ECT. I don't see a separate module for air conditioning. Sometimes other scan tools will let me pick that separate from everything else, which is very handy, but this one obviously is going to be all together on this one module. All right, data stream. This is live data, and it gives you different PIDs to pick from. All right, I want to do this. It's got a search function. Let's go to AC A/C. All right, here's everything that's listed under AC monitor, AC monitor, AC monitor, AC monitor, complete, AC monitor, ENA, AC signal, ambient temperature for AC. All right, I don't see any other sensors other than this ambient air so far. Now let me do one more. Let's type in air conditioning. I'm doing it because I'm trying to do it the shortest way I can. Okay, air conditioning, FB valve. That FB means feedback. This is actually going to show you feedback from the compressor. Now, I've already looked at this before. That's how I know where to go. We're going to hit OK. Now, this right here is actually amperage. I guess it's using Ohm's law, I for amperage. Let's go ahead and hit the graph on this. That's what I want to see right there. What this is showing you is what the electronic control valve is doing. That's what sits at the very butt end of the compressor. There is a control valve or solenoid that controls the displacement of the compressor. If you've seen, it went from a little over 7 amps down to 0 amps, which means it's regulating the pumping of it. When you see it drop, let me idle it up a little bit. All right, you see it drop? That is the electronic control valve preventing this evaporator from getting too cold. It will go up, it will slowly climb back up. It's doing all that through pulse width modulation. Now, this is an important PID to have, no doubt about it. All right, that's a good one. But here's the problem I'm finding, because I have went through all of these PIDs as far as the air conditioner goes, and I am not seeing. Now, before it makes a liar out of me, let me make sure. Let's go to evaporator. Sometime these things where there's the ambient temperature. Let's go to evap. Let's go to E. All right, turn that off. Evap monitor. That's for your evap. That has nothing to do with evaporator. Okay, nothing there. Let's go to thermistor. See if there's something there. Nope, nothing there. You know, I've already looked at this, but what I'm not finding is like the AC pressure, which is normally your high side pressure, system pressure. It's not giving me that information, which is a very important sensor to know if it's skewed or not. The evaporator thermistor is another very important one. And as of right now, these are not showing up on this scan tool, and they will show up on my other scan tools. I have scanned this car, I don't know how many times, every time I get a new scan tool. And that's one thing I look at is the air conditioning side of this, since that's primarily what I do. I want to see the ability of the scan tool. Now, free updates for life, and I'm hoping one of the updates in the near future will be adding more PIDs to see more things on the air conditioner. Now, as far as PIDs for the motor itself, there's quite a few. You got BM voltage. I'm not going to read all these, but you got all these different things. You do have your long and short-term fuel trims. You have your O2 sensor. You have air, fuel, lambda information, all that kind of stuff. All the pertinent information, everything I'm seeing, misfires, everything. Like I said, I'm not going through all this because it just would take entirely too long. But there's quite a bit to look at there for a mechanic that is looking for trouble codes and trying to go in there and look at all the live data and things like that. Quite a bit in there. And keep in mind, the more they update this, the more it will offer. But I would like to see them add more as far as the air conditioning system because of what I do. I mean, I used to do all this. I used to be a all-around general mechanic technician, but primarily AC is my strong point. That's what I've done the most and the longest. So, but yeah, it looks like it will do quite a bit. Good entry-level scan tool right now. If they keep updating it, it will probably become a decent mid-level scan tool, actually. So I want to go ahead and save this recording here, and we're going to go ahead and back out of this, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. Let's stop this. All right, recorder, okay. Do you want to view the video? I'm just going to hit OK. All right, that should save it in memory right here. And go back to the screen recorder. All right, let's cut this thing off. You got this top button here. Oh, by the way, you got these controls here, left, right, up and down, okay, and you can back up. See, if I was to back up, and this lets you do everything that you would do on the touch screen. I thought that was a pretty good touch. I mean, it's pretty rugged. It's built well for the price point. What it can do, I think it's a pretty good bargain. Let's go ahead and close this video. We're going to first power down. You press that in, you hit shutdown, and it will go into shutdown. All right, I'll be right back with you. All right, so hey, for under $200, that's not a bad scan tool. You know, it's a good entry-level DIY type scan tool. There's a lot of functions in there, a lot of PIDs that could benefit someone. Absolutely, it will definitely scan codes, and that's a big plus. It gives you some bi-directional functions and actuation tests and things of that nature. Now, I think in time, with every update, they will be including more and more, make it more powerful. That's just the nature of any scan tool. But the sweet part is you don't have to pay for any of these updates for the life of this tool. I'll have a link in the description for this tool. And I know for a fact, I looked at Amazon this morning, and they had a coupon in there. This thing was normally like $239, but if the coupon's automatically figured in when you go into checkout, and you can get it right now for just under $200. But Like I said earlier, you know, ChatGPT compared this with the launch, and it's saying this is the better scan tool as far as what it offers compared to that other one in the same price range. So anyway, that's my review. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm Russ Jones with Skill Savvy DIY.